Songs in the Night, October 15th. The chosen text from 1 Peter chapter 3 verses 15. Be ready always to give an answer to every man that asketh you a reason of the hope that is in you. Explanation. Following this course of preaching the gospel of hope, we are following the Master and the Apostles. They had so much of this spirit of hope, trust, confidence, love, joy, and peace that they could rejoice in tribulation, and they did so. The Apostles even sang praises to God that they were accounted worthy to share in the sufferings of Christ, that they might also share his coming glories. Let us, then, dear brethren, realize that the world has tears and sorrows enough, and fears aplenty. Let us more and more use our time, strength, talents, joys, etc. in revealing the poor world of its mental distress. Hearken to the words of Jesus. God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. Be ye perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect, as it will be God's great work in the future, through Christ and the Church, to wipe away earth's tears. Let us chase away some of those tears at the present time. Thus, we shall help to prepare the way for the world to come back into fellowship by God and for the faithful of the present time to walk more carefully in the footsteps of Jesus and to encourage one another in the good way. Reprint number 5214. Hymn number 280. Amen.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into a really fascinating source, Songs in the Night. It tackles some big themes: suffering, hope, and surprisingly, joy.
And it lays out a pretty direct challenge, doesn't it?
It really does. The core mission, as we see it, comes from this idea of being ready, like always ready, to give an answer to every man that asketh you a reason of the hope that is in you. So it's not enough to just feel hopeful inside. You've got to be able to explain why.
Exactly. And this deep dive really unpacks what that means. It's about sharing a specific kind of hope, what the source calls a gospel of hope. And this isn't just wishful thinking. It's defined by real active qualities, things you can see, like trust, confidence, love, joy, peace. It needs to work even when things are tough.
Right, the visibility part. That's where it gets, really interesting. The source points to the early followers, the apostles. And their behavior was, frankly, radical.
Yeah.
It says they had so much inner spirit they could actually rejoice in tribulation.
Yeah, rejoice, which sounds
Completely counterintuitive. I mean, rejoicing when you're suffering, how does that even work? Is it saying, just pretend everything's fine?
That's a really important question. And no, it doesn't seem to be about pretending. The source suggests this joy wasn't just like putting on a brave face. It was a mindset rooted in, certainty about the future. It highlights that the apostles didn't just endure suffering.
They did something active.
Yes,
Yeah.
They actively sang praises to God. And the reason? Because they felt they were accounted worthy to share in the sufferings of Christ.
Worthy. Okay, that shifts the perspective.
It completely reframes it. Sharing in that suffering becomes almost a badge of honor. It connects this present difficulty to the anticipation of coming glories. So their joy wasn't really about feeling good now. It was fueled entirely by that future certainty. That's the engine behind it all.
Okay, so if that future certainty created such intense joy back then, how does that translate to us now? Looking at all the, immediate pain in the world, the source itself acknowledges it, right? It says the world has tears and sorrows enough and fears aplenty. It doesn't ignore the reality.
No, it confronts it. And that's where the internal conviction has to meet, an external mandate. We can't just sit on that hope. The source pretty specific. We're told to use our resources, our time, strength, talents, joys, etc., for a particular purpose.
Which is?
To actively relieve the world's mental distress.
Mental distress.
Yeah.
What exactly does the source mean by that in this context? Is it like clinical depression or?
It seems broader, more like the despair, the anxiety, the feeling of hopelessness that stops people from even imagining a better future is possible. So the instruction is clear. Get involved, be proactive, use what you have to help chase away those tears right now, person to person.
And this immediate action, the sort of emotional first aid, it connects to the bigger picture.
Absolutely. It's tied directly to the ultimate goal. The source brings in Jesus' words, looking ahead to when God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes.
So our work now, relieving that immediate distress, it's like preparing the ground, helping clear the path for the world to eventually return to fellowship with God.
Exactly. It's preparatory work. And that also brings up how we prepare ourselves for this work. We're pointed towards this aspiration. Be ye perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect.
Which sounds like a tall order.
It does. But the context suggests it's not just about individual striving in isolation. It involves encouraging each other, walking more carefully in the footsteps of Jesus together. It's a shared effort towards that relief and peace.
Okay.
So what we've sort of unpacked here is this link, right, between that deep internal readiness to explain your hope, that future certainty, and the very practical, hands-on requirement to help lessen the world's immediate suffering. The hope fuels the action.
That makes sense. The radical hope isn't just for you. It powers how you interact with everyone else, especially those who are struggling. So the final thought for you listening is this. If the world really does have so many fears, like the source says, think about the specific mental distress, that despair or anxiety. You might be able to help relieve even in a small way, starting today. How can sharing your own inner hope help pave that path toward greater fellowship for everyone?